Hello, beautiful. And before we begin today, I would love to say this gently. This episode includes themes of job loss, medical crisis, and loss. There's nothing graphic in it and nothing sensational, yet I find it to be tender. I invite you to listen in a way that feels supportive for you and pause if you need to. Breathe if it feels tight, and just know that you're safe here. So let's start by just taking a big deep breath today, the biggest breath you've had all day. Okay. In the last episode, I shared how my mom's illness brought fear, responsibility, and some old patterns to the surface, and how remembering these skills allowed me to soften and to receive support. And today, in this moment, I'd love to share where everything seemed to collide last year: work, money, identity, hope, and the illusion that I still had time. And earlier in 2025, I had accepted a consulting role that I was genuinely excited about. It wasn't just work for me, it was meaningful. I enjoyed it. It was aligned with what I feel that I'm good at, and it was meaningful. And very, very practically, I was depending on it, the income from it, to help me care for my mom, which is why I accepted the role. And after months of illness, uncertainty, and juggling caregiving for my mom, life in general, and all the emotions that come with that, this job felt stabilizing to me. It felt like a foothold. It felt safe, felt familiar, like something solid that I could lean on, depend on, like an anchor. And then it all seemed to collide one day in May of 2025, like a horrible nightmare. I was on a work call, and on that call, I was being told that the department that I was supporting was being eliminated. That fast, the anchor that I was feeling, that financial safety or stability that I was depending on to help me with my mom, it was disappearing. And at the very same time, the exact time, I was following my mom's ambulance to the hospital. And she had been having difficulty breathing. I'd received a message just as I was needing to get on that call. And the home health nurse that was spending time with her so that I could work, she couldn't improve it. So she called the ambulance. So after 2 months of serious illness, trying to care for her at home, organizing help, making sure that to the best of my ability, she was doing what she could to improve herself, her health, like take her medicine, do her therapy, and feel loved and cared for and supported, and trying to work full time, 2 jobs, and trying to manage my own logistics, my own emotions, my own fears, my own old money wounds. It all just collided. And now, both the job and my sense of stability in that very moment felt like they were slipping away in just one breath. And the fear of my mom's health suddenly felt from mid-tier fear to like a flame, a raging inferno inside of me, a panic, full-blown panic. But I couldn't show it because I'm the strong one. I'm the one whose identity is the fixer. And I needed to be strong for her and help figure this out. And this situation didn't just hit my finances or my fear of my mom's health. It hit my very identity. It hit my self-worth, my sense of I should be able to handle this. I should be able to fix it. And the thoughts, they started rolling in fast. A lot of needless emotional turmoil. I've really failed this time. I should have planned better. How am I going to do this? And then the emotions, the self recrimination, guilt, shame, self doubt. old, familiar malware that I've been challenged with literally my whole life. And all of that wasn't because those thoughts were true. I can see that. Even in the moment, in some other reality, I can see that they're not true. But because I've realized that for me, grief and fear, they can strip away the buffers that normally protect me from feeling some of the heavier, the stronger, the scarier, the meaner emotions. I call them my mean girl emotions. And I want to say this out loud because for me, it really matters. In that moment, even as a coach, and for a while after, I lost access to many of the skills and even my desire to reach for them most days because I was in a sea of needless emotional turmoil and panic and fear. Not because the skills were gone, they hadn't left me, and definitely not because I didn't care, because I care deeply. And not because I didn't know they work, because I see it every day. I've seen it in my life through transformation that they work. But because my nervous system was beyond overwhelmed at that moment, I couldn't carry another single thing. Self-care, which had already felt optional throughout these last several months, suddenly felt irrelevant, nonsensical, like selfish. Trust and faith, it felt fragile, and control felt very, very appropriate. And releasing it didn't seem like a viable option in the moment. Faith, it felt like something I had so consciously chosen before, I couldn't access it. It wasn't something that was any longer coming naturally. And honestly, many days I didn't know if I wanted to access it because the urge to control felt so strong, felt like my job, my role at the time. And I spent a lot of days beating myself up about this, going into the sea of I should be doing XYZ and feeling like I was failing. Yet this wasn't failure. This was survival. It was my nervous system trying to survive in the moment in a sea of overwhelm and needless emotional turmoil. And my mom was in the hospital for 2 weeks this time. 2 weeks that were filled with fear and uncertainty, definitely, but also something unexpected. They were filled with beauty. Once that initial panic started to soften, I realized something quietly profound and sad and scary all at the same time. I couldn't control this outcome. And instead of fighting that truth, that awareness, I chose intimacy. I chose presence. I chose to just be there, to try to find moments of gratitude and joy. So instead of asking why me, why now, how much more can I be asked to do this year? Instead of drowning in fear, which was constant internal chatter that I needed to really be intentional about what I was allowing my thoughts to come in as. I started seeing that the job loss, while terrifying, and I still didn't know what I was going to do about that financially, was also divinely orchestrated right on time. For me to be able to spend those weeks, those 2 weeks, that time with my mom. And it was really beautiful. We talked, we connected, we shared moments of tenderness and forgiveness and laughter and truth. There were moments of hope and definitely more moments than I care to remember of fear. Somehow, more often than not, when I was with her at least, I was able to choose hope and connection, even though I was beyond exhausted. And there was also vulnerability and heartbreak. And there was peace. There was definitely a peace about it, even before the end, a knowing that somehow this was different, but it wasn't for me to manage or control. to just try to be there and support to the best of my ability. And up until the final night, we believed we were going to make it through this. We were planning a rehab facility. Discharge was planned just 2 days away. She was going to get stronger. She was getting stronger. I was determined and focused, and I was starting to see the light. And once she finished rehab, she was going to come home to her home again, which was very important to her. Within a few weeks, that was the plan. The doctors sounded positive. She had passed all the tests that came up, and there was lots of evidence to show that it was safe to believe that this was going to not necessarily be an easy journey, but it was going to be doable. We were going to be okay. And so I let myself believe that. And then one night, around 1:30 in the morning, I got the call. The call that, for me, I anticipated coming at some point in the near future, but hadn't expected that night. I don't know that you ever expected. And I could hear on the phone with the doctor who was calling me to let me know what was going on, alarms going off in the back of a room, loud and piercing and intrusive as I was trying to wake up from my sleep. It was some kind of acute episode that they were trying to control for the last several minutes. They weren't exactly sure what it was. It was something they couldn't stabilize, and based on what they could see in the tests that they'd quickly run, they didn't believe they could stabilize it. I needed to get there as soon as possible. And I rushed back to the hospital, and that night, the hardest night of my life so far, started to unfold. And I held my mom's hand for 12 hours, not moving except for one time to go to the restroom, as she quietly and comfortably, surrounded by love, passed on to heaven. And as I sat there, holding her hand, watching every breath that she took, waiting, whispering how much I loved her in her ear, stroking her cheek, crying, remembering, and in a haze, something started to shift. A few hours after I'd gotten there, I looked around the room, and my sons, all of them, they were all there, silent, strong, full of love for her and concern for me, checking on me a few times in this quiet strength, coming up behind me and giving me a hug. One whispering, "You're a good daughter. She's lucky to have you." They were watching over both of us and the amazing young men that they are. And my wonderful husband was there the entire 12 hours, sitting right behind me on this small, very uncomfortable stool as I look back, touching my back and rubbing my shoulders and moving my hair to the side, telling me he loved me, and telling me in all of these big and small ways that he was there, asking me if I needed anything, and loving me in every way that he could, since he knew he couldn't take this away. He was strong, and he was loving, and he was present, and he was my rock. A rock that without these skills, I don't think would be here today. This is the same man that I once believed there was no hope with. The man I thought once I was going to lose. I thought it was a sure thing. Loving me inside this marriage container that I once thought was inevitably going to end. And there he was. And in this hardest night of my life so far, he didn't leave my side. And my best friend came, and she kept trying to get me to walk, to eat, in her own loving way, but I wouldn't budge. I was right where I wanted to be, right where I know I was supposed to be. And my mom's brother, he was there, holding quiet vigil, just sitting our love. And as I sat in that sacred space between life and death, in that moment, looking around the room, a profound truth really came over me that if I hadn't found these skills, if I hadn't had the courage to believe in the fear when I didn't know that they were going to work, if I hadn't had faith that maybe this was possible, that the impossible could be switched with this way of being, if I hadn't practiced them one day at a time, one step at a time, in this very roller coaster fashion, not just my husband, but also my sons might not have been there, because these skills are what turned our relationships around to have the connection that would have us all in that room for those 12 hours together. And if I hadn't practiced these skills with my mom, finding forgiveness, releasing judgment, and connecting so beautifully different in the last few years of her life, all I could think about was that night, that moment could have looked so very different. And I can look in my rearview mirror at how things were, and I can imagine what it might have been like without the skills versus what I experienced in reality. That night there was connection, where I can imagine there would have been isolation. And that night, even in the grief, there was peace, instead of, I can imagine, so much more regret. And in that night, there was love and connection, instead of rupture. And in the heartbreak, even in that moment, I felt something that I really didn't expect. I started to feel overwhelming gratitude. Not for the loss. I don't know that I would have ever been able to be ready for that. But gratitude for this journey, for these skills, for this way of being, for having found them, for having found this community that prepared me to meet that moment with an open heart and with my family surrounding me. And for me, the deepest skill of all is faith. Not faith that things will always go the way that I want, because that would be really nice, but that's not reality. But that love and connection is still really possible and beautiful, even if it doesn't go the way that I want. And that night deepened my faith in ways that I didn't see coming. And it did change me forever, of course. Yes, in my spiritual faith, and also my faith in these skills, in this way of being, and my belief in this work, and in the profound awareness of the lives, the generations that can change because of them. And 6 years into this journey, 2025 showed me time and time again that in my rearview mirror I could see that these skills not only support me in amazing wins throughout and seeing some of my deepest desires being manifested, yet also in my hardest moments of my life. They also show me a shadow of what might have been if I had chosen to ignore them. Because for me, I had a choice when I found them. I could have looked the other way. I could have given up on the days that it was hard. When I didn't see things on my timeline, I could have just put them down and went back to my old way of being. But something kept telling me to keep going. And I'm so grateful that I did. It showed me a shadow of what might have been if my way of being hadn't transformed as much as it has. If I hadn't been able to ask for help when I would encounter a blind spot, if I didn't practice them in a way that was imperfectly perfect for me, I think that night would have been a lot different. And practicing the skills for me is a choice. I get to decide. And there is no certainty in anything on this side of the earth, I'm realizing. And I am filled with immense gratitude that these skills not only exist, but that they came to me. Because I believe they found me, not that I found them. And that I listened to that still voice inside of me that told me to keep going, to keep continuing to embrace them, even when things felt scary, when they felt hard, when they felt impossible. And for me, these skills, they create miracles. I see it every day in big and small ways. I get to see it in my own life. I get to see it as a coach and in the life of hundreds of women. So if you're walking through a season right now where everything feels like it might fall apart, or it is falling apart, or you're just afraid it's going to fall apart, if you're questioning whether the work that you've done even matters, if anybody notices, I would love to invite you to hear this. My experience time and time again in these skills is that they matter most when life hurts the most, when it feels the most impossible, when I don't get what I want. Having faith and holding on to my vision and believing, for me, that's what matters. And when things are hard, I'm realizing, because I had so many opportunities to give up, and I almost did, and I did a few times, and then I came back to them. When things are hard, that's not time to give up. I would invite you to consider, what if, when things are hard and scary and feel impossible, that's the time to double down and use all that perseverance. And for me, that was the perseverance that I called on that I had previously used to try to control the world and thought I was pretty good at it, to just continue to adopt these skills, to adjust my own way of being, to do the best I could every day, one step at a time, to choose how I wanted to show up and let that be my North Star. Yes, I understand. The skills, they don't erase the pain in the moment. Yet for me, they completely transform how I can meet it. And they create the space for miracles to come in, even in the face of the pain. So if this resonates with you, then I would invite you to share in the comments what came up for you. You might share a moment that love surprised you, even in pain or hardship, or a time connection carried you through, or simply, I'm grateful for these skills, even in moments of heartbreak. No fixing, no advice, just truth and love and support and being witnessed. And in the next episode, I'll share what came afterward for the next few months. The trauma and needless emotional turmoil loop that I was in that I didn't even recognize. The exhaustion, the anger, and how slowly and gently I found my way back to myself again. And the miracles that the skills helped me witness in my life and in others throughout that period of time. And sometimes life takes everything familiar away and still seems to leave us with what matters the most. So thank you for being here with me. We'll keep walking this journey together. And if you haven't heard this today, I would invite you to hear, while there's breath, there is always, always hope. And you are worthy, and you are amazing, and you are beautiful. And practicing these skills, in my experience, is magical. Miracles seem to follow, not always in the ways that I expect or envision or in my timeline, but miracles nonetheless. And I have faith in you. And 2026 is going to be our year. So I invite you to consider adopting that with me. Claim it, name it. 2026 is our year. And if you need to lean on my faith until yours grows a little bit stronger, then you are more than welcome to do that. And I would love to be that support for you. And my invitation is, if your heart is still desiring your vision, if there's this quiet voice inside of you that's saying, don't give up, consider listening to it. Because in my experience, your miracle could be just around the corner. Don't give up before you get to see it. Sending you all my love.
Dear Granny,
Happy birthday.
happy birthday. To you and many more.
Okay,
Can I blow it up?
Make a wish. Okay, make a wish first.
Her breath,
Huh?
her breath is back.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, he means you can't blow it
I know
up.
what he means. Okay.
Are those candles edible?
You just pick it off.
Hey, Joe, it's your mama. I just was thinking about you. I want you to know I love you with all my heart. I'd like to be loving on you right now. I hope you're having a good day and getting plenty of rest and seeing your friends. And I love you very, 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 very much. Bye, honey.